Hey, P Thorns, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here to listen to more of my stories. You guys know, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button so that you know when the next story comes out. Thank you guys for listening, and on to our story. I believe Bigfoot lives in my backyard. I know it sounds crazy, but I live in front of a large national park. The park stops right at my back door, literally. So my morning views are of squirrels, birds, and the occasional raccoon that gets into our trash. I know I don't seem very enthusiastic, and it's because this thing, this thing has an affinity for me. For a while, I would spend time outside in the backyard, gardening, enjoying the views, listening to the birds, sunbathing, you know, the typical things you do in the backyard. I even took up hiking for a little while. There was a great trail not too far right out my back door, so I would hike the trail halfway and then hike back home. So one day I was hiking the trail and I got halfway through my normal route and I heard knocking, like wood knocking on wood. I looked around and I realized that it was eerily silent. So silent that you could hear a pin drop in the middle of a forest and you would hear it for miles. It was so strange to me that all of a sudden the woods would just go silent. And I've always been told that when the woods go silent, it's something dangerous around. So I quickly start to backpedal and turn around to go the other direction. But in front of me, I now hear the knocking. I hear the knocking to the left. So I try to turn around again and go the opposite direction. And then I hear the knocking in front of me again. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm surrounded by bears or like some type of squirrel or something knocking and playing around. So I'm worried, but not worried. And then I hear a grunt, literally 5 feet away to my left. I look over, and there's this tall, hairy, muscular figure. It had to be like 8 feet tall. It had a very thick brow and a flat but plump nose with very jagged teeth. And I stared at it, and it stared at me. And I slowly started to step back. And as I started to step back, it raised its eyebrows and looked at me as if it was curious. And I felt really in danger because of his curiosity. So I turned and began to run. I ran like there was no tomorrow, which wasn't a problem because I used to run cross country. But it had been like 2 years since, and I was pretty sure that as big as it was, it could keep up with me easily if it wanted to. I didn't do that horror movie thing where you look over your shoulder and look back and look over your shoulder until you finally run into something or trip over that imaginary air like rock that be there. So as I'm running, I can hear tapping and knocking come to life just about all over the forest. I ran so fast. I popped my back gate open, up my stairs, into the house, locked, latched, and everything. Pulled the curtains and basically leaned against the door. breathing so hard I could have summoned a hurricane with the amount of air that I needed to take in. Slowly, my nerves started to calm down. My heart rate started to fall. And I got the courage up to turn around and peek out the glass that I have in my kitchen window. As I looked, everything was out of focus because at this point, sweat was in my eyes, tears was in my eyes, some of everything was in my eyes. Sand, dirt, bugs, dust, that's how fast I was running. So I wiped my eyes, try to calm myself down, and I look out the window again. And about 50 yards into the trees, I can see a silhouette of what I assumed to be the same creature just standing there. Close enough that I could see it, but far away that if I took a picture, it would just look like a tree. The thing that scares me the most is that it was right there on the trail, and I didn't notice that it was there. It was literally no way that it could have got that close to me without me hearing it coming. I know I could say maybe it was the knocking that threw me off so I didn't hear it coming. But as big as that creature was, it was impossible that you got through a forest of trees, all type of leaves and shrubs and bushes that line this trail and be right not even 10 feet away from me, and I never saw it. So that brings up the question to me, how long have these things been there and I just did not notice them? You know, when you take in the full scenery, you think you're taking in everything. If I'm taking in everything, how is it possible that it was right there? How is it possible that if it wouldn't have fell silent and the knocking would have started, that I would have most likely walked right past it and never saw it? And the strange thing is, I'm worried now that it wants me to see it. But what happens when it doesn't want me to see it? So I'm just going to walk out my back door and it's just going to be there. And hopefully I see it or I don't see it. Like, it's really frustrating me. And I'm worried. But I don't have any money to move. This house was left to me by my mother. My mom never said anything about these creatures. I wonder if she knew. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was another story that we have for the books. I thank you guys for listening to my story. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell button. And I hope to see you again. Bye.